Really feeling that beat. But welcome to my channel, guys. Welcome to my podcast. This is your girl, Kyla Coleman, aka Natural Legalista, where I'm taking news stories from the headlines and breaking them down with a twist. Basically, my twist is just gossiping on the issue and bringing my friends to talk about the gossip with me, too. So tune in. But I want to give you a little bit of background information about myself because I'm pretty sure you guys don't know me by now. Once again, my name is Kyla Coleman. I am a criminal defense and family law attorney. I practice out of Orlando, Florida. I also do legal analyst work for national TV networks as well as local news too. Whoever wants to have me, I'm going to talk about these stories, and that's a little bit about me. So today what we're going to break down is called the dating app murder. And so I thought the best person to bring in on the show today would be my friend who is a dating and relationship expert. Her name is Krista Monet. And welcome to the show, Krista.
Hey, girl.
And let me
Thanks
hype
for
you up a
having
little
me.
bit. No problem. Let me hype you up a little bit. So Krista's been featured on TLC. She does magazine stories. She gives a lot of good dating advice. And I know I personally use her. And she's my good friend too. So thanks for coming, Krista.
Thanks, friend. I use you too.
Well, girl, but you know how I am. So I'm big on self-care and I'm
Yeah.
big on making sure everybody's good. So you good today?
Yes, I am good today. Are you good today? I got my water. I'm a chilling girl.
Yes, ma'am. I got some water too, but it's off
Mhm.
camera because we didn't know if it
Yeah,
was a good setup to have it on here. But okay,
right.
cool.
But that's how you know we're ready to talk.
Right. Because we hydrated. You got to be hydrated in order to talk,
Mhm.
right? Okay,
Right.
cool. So, before we get started with the big dating app murder, which I'm ready to jump into, I just want to give a self care tip
Mhm.
because like I said, I'm big on self care. So, my self
Huge
care
on
tip
self
for
care.
this week is to mind your business. A lot of times we have like
Not to-
situation. Mind your mother business. Yes. A lot of times we
Okay.
create situations because we jump into other folks' stuff. We're jealous or we're comparing. But if you just mind your business and stay in your lane, you'll be fine in life.
I agree. I agree. I am huge on minding my business.
Yes, ma'am. I know
Huge.
because you helped me to stay in my lane too and mind my own business. So, all right, girl. So I'm going to tell you a story. We're going to break it down together. You give your reactions, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to talk about. We can jump into that because I know you and I segue a lot when we're talking.
A
So,
lot.
I
A
cannot wait to
lot.
have this conversation.
Yes. I'm
All
excited.
right. So the dating app murder, aka the unfortunate story of a young man named Adam Hilarie. A lot of people in local news were pronouncing it Hillary, but as I was looking over the court documents and reviewing the case itself, it's pronounced Adam Hilaire. He was an
Mhm.
FSU fan. He was 27 years old at the time of his death. That took place in 2016. So let's jump into this news clip. Actually, before we jump into this news clip,
Mhm.
you give dating and relationship advice. This was a dating app
Right.
murder. Can you guess what platform this might have happened on? Which dating app it was?
See, I have my top three that I'm like that I just believe that stuff like this happen on because it's just people just people, man, and it's just everybody just out for themselves. Like so,
Mm-hmm.
I always say it's either POF, which is
What is POF? Okay.
plenty of fish, Tinder, which a lot of ghetto stuff happen on Tinder, um, or I'm really seeing a lot of stuff from Facebook dating. So between
Ooh.
those three,
Now keep in mind
I
this
would
happened in
say.
2016. Facebook dating app
Okay, so maybe
wasn't.
Facebook dating wasn't out. I would say either Tinder or POF. And the reason I say POF is because POF is the hood. Like I got held up at gunpoint from a
Ooh.
date from POF.
Ooh.
Girl, girl, first date held up at gunpoint.
Oh my God.
That was my last time on POF. Yes, so that's why I'm putting POF in there.
Okay. You might be onto something. We're gonna come back around to that dating story because I need to hear that about what happened to you.
Right,
But let's play this clip real quick and we'll see if it is either your top two
one of
choices,
those.
POF or Tinder. Let's see.
Tinder.
Polk County investigators say a young father was robbed and killed after a date with a woman he met online.
And that woman that you see right here behind us and three men are getting ready to face a judge for the first time. ABC Action News reporter Rodney Dunnigan is live right now at the county jail this morning.
And Rodney, this may not have been the first time these suspects have done something like this.
And Dan, that's something investigators will be looking into this morning. It turns out that these four suspects have all been in trouble with the law before. Now, all are locked up in the county jail this morning, but in just a matter of hours, they'll be transferred right across the street to the county courthouse to face a judge for the first time in connection with this horrible crime. 18-year-old Haley Bustos, Joshua Ellington, Gary Gray, and Andre Warner are all charged with murder. Investigators say that Adam Hilarie met Bustos on a dating app called Plenty of Fish. Now, after casing out his Auburndale apartment, investigators say that she told the three men what was inside. They went back to that home, forcing Hilarie to his knees before shooting him in the head and stealing electronics from the home. The police report even stated that two of those suspects laughed at Hilarie as he begged for his life. Family members say Adam Hilarie was a good man. His pride and joy was his 5-year-old daughter.
I miss my daddy because he's with Jesus.
That's one thing I can't say. You know, my brother, you know, he's a hero to many people, and especially to that little girl.
Certainly a very sad story. Now, Hilarie's loved ones are shaken by this. They're devastated by this loss, all simply over a dating app. And again, all four of those suspects will be in court in just a matter of hours. We're now reporting live in Polk County. Rodney Dunnigan, ABC Action News.
Send them to jail. Lock them up. All of them. This is crazy.
It's a hot mess. It was a hot mess. So we're going to dive into the details of the story. And fun facts for everybody, as I stated before, I do legal analyst work on national TV as well as local news. And this actually happened to be one of the cases that I analyzed on Court TV. So the scene that they shot outside of the courthouse where he was pointing to, I was literally sitting outside of the courthouse analyzing this case. Unfortunately, this is around the time COVID struck. So this was March 2020 when things were just beginning to shut down that this case went to trial. So let's dive into it.
I have a question.
Oh, okay.
I have a legal question.
Yes.
So I'm Phil. I'm the producer here. I have a if this happened in 2016, why does it take 4 years to go to trial?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
I always think about that.
Yeah, it's a really good question because it's so much evidence to comb through. You want to make sure that you do a thorough investigation, that they talk to all of the witnesses, that the witnesses are available. It's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. So 4 years is actually a pretty good time frame to turn around and have a murder trial. And this was just one defendant that's actually gone to trial. The other three have not gone yet.
They haven't?
No.
So do we know?
It's a twist.
So do we know what it is? Like, do we know? I mean, is that person locked up for life? Do we know what is it? The sentencing of this person?
We're definitely going to get into that because he has been sentenced already. So, and the one person we're talking about is the person to the right of the screen there. His name is Andre Warner. Evil man. And then
Is that the bald guy?
He's bald now.
Okay.
So back when it happened, I think he had some. Yes, this man here who looks.
Oh Lord!
Evil.
He does look evil.
Yes. So let me give y'all the background story on it. So I don't know if we can pull up a picture of Haley, but basically, Haley created a profile on Plenty of Fish. She matched with Adam. Yeah, Plenty of Fish. She matched with Adam. They went on a date. Hung out, had a great time, went bowling, went back to his place after, hung out there, and then he took her back home. She shoots him a text and she's like, yo, I had a great time. I can't wait to see you again. Little did he know she would see him again. It would be the next day, and that was the day that he was murdered. Because what happened was she went back to her friend's house after the date, and was talking about how much money he had, that he had a really nice apartment, had TVs, had a whole bunch of stuff in his house. So the evil guy that we saw, Andre, basically was like, yo, can you set something up? Can you set it up? Like, we'll go hit him. We'll give you $50 for this guy's life.
$50?
$50 to set up a robbery.
I can't even fill my gas tank up with $50.
Exactly. She's 18 though, so maybe $50 was a lot. Yeah. So
oh my God.
Yeah, they went back to his house the next day, drove past his apartment or whatnot. So it was Haley, it was Andre, who was the shooter, and then you had the driver, which was a guy named Joshua, and then another person helping named Gary. Andre and Gary get out of the car, go to his apartment, basically, put him down on his knees and he's begging for his life, as the clip said. He mentioned he had a 5-year-old daughter. He had stuff to live for. He's like, dude, y'all take whatever you want. You can have anything. Just please let me keep my life.
Right.
They decided to take it instead. So they had Joshua drive up to the back of his house, to the back of Adam's house, and they started loading stuff into the car. And then when they got done loading it is when they ended up shooting Mr. Adam Hilarie. So it was pretty crazy. But I know that I mentioned that there was a twist to it too. So let's see. It's several twists here. So as I stated before, Andre is the one who has already gone to trial. His trial started March of last year, right when COVID started, and he was found guilty. Basically, his defense was he wasn't there. He let them borrow his car. He didn't do anything. But Haley and Joshua flipped on him. So they're in jail. Everybody's in jail. They've been in jail since 2016. Haley and Joshua flipped on him and said, hey, it was him that killed Adam. And so his defense was, they're only flipping on me because they think they're going to get a better sentence than I can, or they're just trying to blame everything on me. But it ended up working. He was convicted. And in Florida, we still have the death penalty.
Good.
For people like him.
Oh, so this was here.
This was here. Oh, Polk County, Florida. Polk County, down the street. Yeah, down the
What?
street from me. Right. So yeah, he went into the penalty phase, which happened on, I believe, the end of June of this year, and the jury was like, "Yeah, we want him to get the death penalty."
Is that the video?
Oh yeah, so we do actually have a clip of him during the death penalty phase. Let's take a look at his reaction to this. This guy here.
Find that the state has established beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of the aggravating factor that the murder was committed while the defendant was engaged in a burglary. The jury checked the option of yes. Factor number 5, we, the jury, unanimously find that the state has established beyond reasonable doubt the existence of the aggravating factor that the murder was committed for the purpose of avoiding or preventing a lawful arrest. And the jurors have checked yes. Factor 6.
No emotion.
It's not phasing them at all.
Find that the state has established beyond reasonable doubt the existence of the aggravating factor that the murder was committed for financial gain.
I'm not all about stereotyping people, but this guy looks like a criminal.
He is.
Hey,
And basically what the news said, every person who was involved in this had a prior criminal history. This man had a prior criminal history of robbery. He actually had a warrant out for his arrest while he's been in jail because of other things that he's done around Florida. So criminal history of robbery and domestic violence. No fade, like he usually in the penalty phase you see him
he
break
knows.
down and cry.
Yeah, because he know he did wrong. He know what he did.
Yeah. And the crazy thing that I found out about this is he's a father himself, unfortunately. He has kids. Actually, I believe one of them was born while he's been locked up, when he first got locked up, because I know he had a jail phone call that was talking about a baby that was born. It definitely didn't faze him, especially when I think in the news clip earlier, you guys heard that he had laughed at what happened. So basically, he was laughing at the fact that Mr. Adam was begging for his life and said he had a 5-year-old daughter. Yeah. And so that was one of the things that the jury took into consideration, like the heinousness of the crime, the indifference to life, period.
So is that when those aspects are being presented in court, does that, I know guilty is guilty, but like the sentencing, does stuff like that play into part? Yeah,
for sure. The judge and the jury listened to all of that. And actually his mom testified at the penalty phase as well. She basically was saying, he grew up and had a rough childhood. She was a single mom. He had an abusive father himself. But at the end of the day,
at the end of the day, you can't just kill people. Right. People go through shit.
Right. And I mean,
that's
I'm a product
life,
of a single parent home, and I don't go around killing people. In fact,
I look at you, a whole lawyer, right? A whole lawyer.
So yeah, it was really, really crazy. Some background info is that his trial took 8 days. So it took 8 days, and it took the jury 2.5 hours to find him guilty.
That's fast.
That's fast.
Very fast. Very fast. And typically when the
their
jury
mind
comes
was already
back,
made up.
Right. They just want to make sure to dot all their I's and cross the T's and everything. But when it comes back that fast, it's never good news at all.
So do you know how they were actually caught?
Well, yeah. So, somebody called in and reported a mysterious death for the most part, and so they showed up to his house. I believe it was one of his neighbors. Haley had actually done another burglary on someone else while she.
Oh, so she 18 out here doing her thing too.
Yeah, she was
So
doing
she
her
not
thing.
new.
Right.
To
So
this.
she was already in jail when they got the 911 phone call. They ended up questioning her. And so she flipped on herself as well as the other people involved. She gave up their names immediately. And that's how they became involved. So it's pretty quick. The incident happened on August 19th, where he was murdered. They were all arrested by August 22nd. So it was a really quick turnaround in Polk County, but they don't play down there. I don't know if you visited down there, but they do not play at all.
Yeah, they don't
Y'all
play.
seen the sheriff
But
down there.
they definitely need to not be on PO. I wouldn't be on POF out there.
I never really got a good vibe from POF in the first place. It looked like all the fish in the sea literally were there, and some of those fish I did not want to deal with.
Yeah, or incarcerated. Like they all locked up. Like all you see is them concrete walls. That's all you see is white concrete walls.
And that's crazy.
Wait, Krista, what are you talking about? So people that are on POF are in prison?
Yes.
In prison.
Yes.
So POF stands for Prison of Felons.
There you go. Prison.
Dude,
Oh,
yes.
that is what I'm gonna call it from now on. Period.
I can't remember if it was Hinge or a Facebook dating app that I was on, and it literally was a guy in the orange jumpsuit. He clearly was in jail and was trying to holler at me on these websites. I screenshot it and sent it to my mom. I'm like, can you believe this? So I didn't know that they had access to that, but
how they got phones?
They do. They have. What, man? I was out with a homegirl and she was talking to some guy in jail right now. He FaceTime her when we was out.
He's like, hey, I just
what
left
you
child.
doing?
Right.
Right. Like, what you
I
up
just left
to?
the yard, you know.
Well, what you up to? Right.
Oh my God.
Like they got phone, they got cell phone. It's a whole world in there. Like they got cell phones, they got different type of currency, they got all that stuff. TikTok.
What?
A guy just went viral. His song went viral. He's in jail. He's actually in Richmond, Virginia. And he's in jail, but I think he's been in jail for a while. But he put out a song before, and it went viral. It's going viral right now because TikTokers are making up dances to this song. So he's in jail, and his TikTok song going viral. So now record labels are reaching out to him, trying to get him a record deal. He locked up.
Hey, so when he gets out, hey. It's kind of like that guy that got discovered, the model. Remember his prison photos went viral.
Oh, yes. Prison Babe.
So he was fine. Our society to get deals and stuff before you come out of jail, I guess. Go to jail and get a deal. Man.
Exactly.
Well, I know this guy's not going anywhere anytime soon. Like I said, he's been
anytime soon
since 2016 and has warrants from other counties. So the crazy thing is he could potentially get the death penalty and still, have a life sentence somewhere else as well, just in case he comes back to life after whatever he decides. Fun fact, though.
Whatever he decides.
No, seriously, because Florida is a state that lets you decide. So you got two choices.
You decide?
You can decide how you want to die. So you have two choices. And if you don't pick a choice, the default is lethal injection. So lethal injection or the electric chair.
They still have the electric chair?
Yeah.
And
they still have the
it's called Old Sparky. Yeah, he's called Old Sparky. Wow. I don't know if you guys remember the Green Mile, but that electric chair was modeled after Florida. That's our thing. Yeah.
I think I found the official POF song.
Uh-oh. Come on, because I'm
please.
Hey.
This is it.
Hey, Kyle. Hey.
That's all I can show.
I'm about to start crip
walking. Yeah, no. Right. But yeah, I mean, but yeah, that's the fun fact. So I don't know which one he's
POF is the hood.
It is. It is the ghetto. But I haven't been on there in a long time. So
I went on.
Don't ever go back. And
this is like maybe
you did.
2010.
How was that?
Weird. It was weird.
I actually met a good person on POF. Like I met one good guy on POF, and he was a really good one.
Well, what happened?
But I mean, we're not together, so I look right. Like
he wasn't good enough.
Right.
He just wasn't good enough. No, he was really good. He was in the military, and everything was cool. It was just like we just didn't vibe. But I was in Jacksonville, so they was all in the military.
Yeah, it's a base
except this one dude. Yeah, in there. So. But yeah, the guy that held me up at gunpoint, that was interesting.
And you said that was on Plenty of Fish, right? That was from
Yeah,
that
I
site.
met him on Plenty of Fish.
What
Yep.
happened?
So the date was nice. Like I was like, oh, he cool. The date was nice. Blah blah blah. We went out to eat, and then we went to like some little club or whatever afterwards. And then when he took me home, he was like, oh, so you gonna let me come? You gonna let me come up? And this is when I just moved to Florida. So I just moved to Jacksonville. I'm still trying to learn, different things. Like I think I was only probably like maybe a month in, and I didn't drive because my car at the time that I had a 99 Accord, Honda Accord. I missed that car. And it was like the cylinder was out. So it was like puffing black smoke or whatever. I couldn't drive that on the date. So when he offered to pick me up, I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And I was hungry and I was broke and I was poor. So yes, sure, let's go. So the date was nice. He took me back home and then he's like, oh, I was like, thank you for the day, whatever. And I put my food in the back, like my leftover food. And he's like, oh, you're not gonna invite me up? And I was like, no. Like, and honestly, it wasn't that I was like thinking about, him coming upstairs and it ended up being a nightcap or none of that. It was more so like I was sleeping on an air mattress and I didn't have furniture. So, like it was embarrassing for me to have you come upstairs to my apartment. I didn't have anything. So I was like, no. And he was like, well, I just felt like you had a nice night. And I said, yeah, the night was great. Maybe we can see each other tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. He was like, okay. So I thought it was like, okay. So he came around. I thought he was going to give me a hug, girl. I got out. He came around the car and I thought he was going to give me a hug, but he reached in the back. So I thought he was grabbing my food. No, he just pulled out a gun and got really close to me and pulled it up to my stomach, girl. Like held the gun up to my stomach. He was like, and then like grinning on his teeth. He was like, we going upstairs.
Oh my God.
Girl, I was like, so in that moment, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get raped. So let me just comply, But then I'm like, but then I don't want to die. But either way, I'm like, I'm gonna get raped. Like something's gonna happen, So by the grace of God, and it was like almost 2 a.m. at the time. My neighbor, who was always outside, he was a hood dude too, so he was always outside doing what he was doing. But I was I always mind my business, but he always outside at night, chilling or whatever, doing his thing. And he saw what was going on. I guess he must have read my face because he couldn't see the gun, so he must have read my face. And he came over and ejected, but he came over. He already had his gun pulled out. He was like, "Is it a problem here?"
Ooh.
And dude was like, no, they got into it back and forth. And he was like, no, you need to get back in your car. And he told me, he said, go in the house. He said, I'm going to handle this.
Bruh.
And I was like, he had to tell me twice. I was like, I'm out. Right?
For real.
For real. God. So, yeah, that what happened. And then my neighbor, after the next day, he saw me. And when I came outside, and he said, you sure know how to pick them.
No, he didn't judge you, but he saved your life, so he could judge.
No, you didn't. Yes, I was like, you know what? You could at this point. I owe you tacos.
So Krista, after that, did you report him to the police? Because that's a major crime.
Yeah.
And you had
I didn't.
Phone number.
Everything. I didn't. I didn't have his phone number at the time. That's the thing, because I didn't want to give him mine. I just had his. We were just talking on the app. So I reported it on the app, but I didn't report it to the police because it was just me and the police and I was like, I wasn't the straightest person, back in the day. So me and police just don't.
I'm sure a possible rape.
Yeah. That trumps anything.
Well,
but then you know what?
You got weed in your apartment.
Yeah.
Right. But the thing I always think, and it's from experience and, like talking to other women and things like that. But when women report rape, it hardly goes anywhere. It's like a bunch of time wasted and it just sits. It hardly goes anywhere. You can go get a rape report. You can go get that, and it's still.
As a lawyer,
I was attempted.
Why do you think that's the case?
Yeah.
I honestly am not sure. I really think it varies on department by department. But what I always tell people is, regardless, report. Because even if nothing happens from your case, you could be saving somebody else's life in the future. You know what I'm saying? So if he has a history of complaints or a history of reported rapes, then obviously where there's
That's
smoke,
good to
there's
know.
fire. But at the same token, I never judge anybody for not doing it because it's such a touchy subject and not everybody has the
Right.
courage or wants to come forward, you know? What did Plenty of Fish
Sometimes you
do?
just want to
Like,
forget about it.
yeah,
I
what was
think
their
they just
response?
deleted his account. I think they just deleted his account. They didn't respond to me. I think they
What
just deleted his account, if they even deleted the account.
what year was this?
This is like 2012, I want
Okay,
to
so
say
that was
2012,
before this case
2013.
happened. Because I
Yeah,
really
that was
feel
way
like,
before. Yeah,
yeah, I was gonna say I really feel like after this case, it really set the tone for how apps
because they
respond to
have to.
right.
Do they have any liability?
But you know what?
I don't know if
I
they have
don't
liability based
know.
on what somebody else does, but I know what they do is create precautions. So remember when a couple of years ago someone got killed by an Uber driver? Well, it wasn't an Uber driver, but it was a person they thought was their Uber driver. Do y'all remember that story?
Yes.
Like a girl got into the wrong
No, I
car. She
think I
thought it
heard
was yeah, she thought it was her
what?
Uber driver and it wasn't. So after that, because Uber can't be liable for what somebody else does, they just put out a disclaimer like, hey, before you get in the car, check your driver's name, check the tag, check to make sure it's
They
the
do
correct
that all the
car.
time,
So
right?
I think that that's what they're doing to kind of get away from liability is just putting precautions out there.
Okay. Yeah, because POF doesn't have any type of background checks. They don't have any type
Nope.
of vetting
Nothing. I mean, if
system.
everybody locked up
Right. As you can see, we telling you, we see profiles from people in jail all the time. So
all the
yeah,
time,
if anything, they'll
dude
learn by
asked me,
just
"Can I do the
people.
whole bid with him?" He said he got 8 years for armed robbery. He
Okay.
said, I'm just looking for somebody to ride with me."
Ain't nobody
I said,
scared of
"Ride with
him.
you where, sir? Where we going?
To old age. Rob me to old age.
Right.
Where we
Oh my
going?"
God.
I said, "And dating a prisoner?" Yo, I love Prison Wives. I love
It's a
all
good
of that
show.
stuff. It's a really good show. But that shit is expensive.
Yeah, because you got to put
I
money
had
on
an
the
ex that was locked
books
up all the
and.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Money on the books, money on the phone. Then you want to make sure he eating his honey buns and commissary. It's just so much. It's
I'm
so
not built for that.
expensive.
I'm not built for it. I'm
I
not
can't
that
do it.
that
And did you
girl.
see it's something that came out on the Shade Room today? It was a rapper. I think she's on Love and Hip Hop, but I don't watch Love and Hip Hop. So I think she's on Love and Hip Hop. But people were talking about like her dude because he's serving 30 years.
That ain't
And
her
she's
dude.
like, "Yeah, that's my man." That is not your
That's the state's
dude.
dude.
Yes,
That's the.
thank you. That is the state dude.
But you
What?
know they have to have a storyline in order to be on these shows. So if that's her storyline to get her some money, go for it. But then don't stick with that man because it ain't nothing you
But
can
that's
do.
the thing. I don't think it's on the store. It's on the show. I think the Shade Room just found it. I think she was like mentioning it or something, and they was just like, "Dang,
Oh,
this is your dude." I
oh
don't
my,
think she
the
put him on the
ghetto.
show. 30 years, the ghetto. She was like, everybody kept commenting, "She go stick beside him." You know that little. That's her man. She go stick beside. 30 years, not three. 30.
Yeah,
I'm
that's a long
32.
time. Right. That's half your life. Almost half your life. But
Right. Shoot.
I'm talking about almost half. Like it's a whole nother lifetime, like your life plus another. But
Right.
that's crazy. But wasn't there a rapper, Papoose and somebody else? Like he stuck with her through jail. I can't remember her.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
But she wasn't in
Remy
jail for
Ma.
no 30
Remy Ma,
years.
right?
I think it might have been like a few
Nah, how long is
years.
she in? Like a couple of years. But yeah, they stuck by each other. But
But
I
rarely do you
mean,
see
I
it
think they were
flip like
together.
that. It's usually the
Right.
girl having to hold the guy down, but it don't be the other way. Now I would want somebody to hold me down. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm doing the bid,
Right.
stick by me, but
Come
not the
come
other
hold me
way.
there.
Look, I
Stick
told
back, but not
so
right.
I told my wife if I go down for anything, you are single.
Come on. I want to clap. That is a good guy move. I hope you never have to go to jail. But yeah.
Because I mean, if I did something and I got in prison because I did something wrong, it's my fault. I just ruined the whole family dynamic. She doesn't need
I
to
agree.
hold it down for me to stay.
Such a
No,
good
girl,
guy.
you go do what you got to do.
Yeah, live your life. Because I feel like that's holding
Hmm.
them, in prison as well. If you're in prison, you can't do anything. Now you making them not be able to live their full life. That's not cool. Mm-mm.
Exactly.
Man, well, I hope that guy that
Dang, that
did
was
that to
good.
you is locked up. But shout out to good neighbors, good male
Awesome.
neighbors, especially when
Good
you're moving in somewhere.
neighbors.
Yeah, when you're moving somewhere as
Mm.
a single female, it's really hard sometimes to know who's looking out for you. So it's always good to have a dude
Hmm.
that's about that life, apparently.
Just looking out for you, right?
Mhm.
Apparently
your
about
neighbor,
that life.
I hope his name is Jake from State Farm.
That's a good neighbor.
Like a good neighbor.
I think his name's Chris. I think his name is Chris, but
Chris from State Farm.
But his middle name might have been Jake. Who knows?
My God, I
Who
can't.
knows? But like a good neighbor, he was there.
Yes. Man, that's crazy that happened to you though. Like, I for real hope that something has happened to that guy, like to get him off the streets. Because
Me
if he
too.
felt comfortable doing that to you, I can only imagine like how many other people that's happened to.
Well, speaking of dating, sometimes that comes with like having a lot of kids.
Yes.
So there's something that you wanted to talk about too.
Oh yeah. So we're gonna segue into that. The big subpoena moment of the day. The big subpoena moment is where I call out foolishness and I call that person to the carpet. And that person who needs to come to the carpet today is Nick Cannon. And all these kids that he continuously has on purpose.
Having.
I had tried to list everybody because it's a lot of people moving around here. He has 7 kids: Monroe, Moroccan, Golden, Powerful Queen, Zion, Zillion, and Zen. First of all, let's talk about these names. What you think about them, Crystal?
And I just think, well, you know how I feel about celebrity names, because I'm just like, everybody I cannot wait, honestly, to see what Cardi B gonna name her other child. If and I love Cardi B. But with Culture, I was like, okay, that was a little bit of shock,
It's cute, though. It works.
It's cute. And now I'm like, now she grew up, and I'm like, now she's 3. And I'm like, you know what? I like it. I like it for her. It's better than Apple. Those kids be like Apple and all this other stuff.
Though, Cardi B's name and her sister's name are kind of different. Hennessy, because her sister name's Hennessy. And I can't even pronounce Cardi's actual name.
But what is Cardi B?
Sounds like Harry Potter term. Like Bel Khalif.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, I was going to say, what is her real name?
To say it like that, though. It really did sound like he was summoning.
No, I'm thinking from Harry Potter. OMG, you're right. So yeah, like I like celebrity names. I feel like it's always gonna be something different. Yeah. But him and these kids, but I'm like, you ever seen that movie? I don't know what the movie is called, but they actually hired. It was like single women that wanted to have kids or whatever, and they paid this guy because apparently he was a straight shooter. Like if you slept with this man, you was gonna be pregnant.
Oh,
I cannot remember the movie. It was an older movie, but Kerry Washington was in it. It was a good movie.
Is it on Netflix? Because I feel like I need to go watch.
You need to watch it. I'm gonna find it for you. Kerry Washington. It's another big guy, another big star that I don't be knowing their real name, child. But yeah. So it seemed like Nick Cannon, like he shoots to win. It's like, are these women just saying, "Hey, Nick, like I want a child." Like, I'm here. Here's my uterus. Give me some sperm. Like,
because he said it's on purpose. He said none of these were by accident, like at all. 3 were born last year. Zion and Zillion are twins. They were born in June of last year, and then
somebody else
was in December. Yeah, and then he just had Zen that was born like I think last month. So it's a lot of them coming back to back.
And somebody's coming up, right? I just saw him in another maternity photo shoot.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It could be, because I do remember hearing something like that. But I just wonder if he's going through a life crisis, because I know he has, I believe it's lupus. Yeah. And then.
Oh, he does?
Yeah. And so I don't know. I have family members that have lupus. They're still, living and doing very well.
Me
but
too.
I guess maybe
he's doing.
Yeah, maybe he's planning for the end. I don't know. I just wonder if he can really give quality time to each kid. That's what I'm concerned about.
That's what I'm saying. But, like people with money. How many kids Lil Boosie got? I just feel like he has a whole farm.
He does. And it's cute to them.
But he's always with them. Yeah, and he's always with them. Like he's a hands-on dad. So I wonder, is it like something that Nick Cannon, like does he feel lonely? Like does he always want a big family and does he just not want a wife? Or like
he's in a relationship with this last person he's having a baby with. Her name is Elisa Scott, something like that. She's a model. But I think he's in an actual relationship with her. But I don't know that I could be in a relationship with somebody who literally just has kids that are months away from.
Just had a kid last month, right?
Mm-hmm. It's crazy, but I need him.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
wish I could really send true subpoenas because I would love to hear Nick Cannon explain what's going on with this. Because it feels like a
What's
midlife
happening?
crisis. Yeah, but then also too, he got in some
But these are
trouble.
like
Like,
lies.
yeah, he got in some trouble. I think last year, like I think he might have said something about the Jewish community or something that caused him to lose his show for a little bit. I know
Lose
they
the
wanted to
show.
cancel.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm like, maybe he's like, you know what? I'm just trying to secure the bag, make sure my kids are taken care of, make sure I have plenty of kids, just in case something happens to me, they can carry on the legacy. I don't know, but this is not a good look for bruh at all.
But he got money. Don't he own like Team Nick or like a huge portion of Team Nickelodeon?
I'm not sure, like his ownership,
I think
actual
so.
rights. But if he doesn't have
I
that,
think
he needs to
so.
hold it down at this point because we're talking about a
Yeah.
lot of child
He got.
support. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder if these
Dang.
ladies are taking him to court for child support.
Because what's his his 30 million. Hold on.
Ooh.
Yeah, 30 million. So I knew he got money. Let's see.
Oh, hold
Nick
on.
Cannon TV show.
You-
Because
you-
I'm
you
like,
want it back?
I wondered.
Yeah, can we bring it back?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I'm like, I know he got a lot of stuff going on.
I was
he's
looking at his
40?
schedule.
Dang.
I was looking at his schedule. This guy is insane. He does not sleep. His sleep schedule is like mine.
Dang.
Really?
I was about to say something, but if your sleep schedules are the same, I don't want to say nothing crazy, but you got to get sleep in order to live.
Yeah.
So if he's planning on checking out, then he's.
Well, maybe those sleep help your sperm get strong. So Phil, watch out.
I cannot.
Do you have kids? But you're married.
Yeah, I have one son.
Oh, see, well, your sperm works.
Yeah.
So, so at least that's good. I always say, all right, do the work. You got one, you got okay, cool. See, that's good.
This
If
is
you
not
have
what I
one
envisioned for his life. When I saw corny Nick Cannon making them raps back in the day, you know what I'm saying, dance moves and stuff, I was like, all right, he's corny, he's cool.
He said it earlier in his music career. He's a gigolo.
Is that what he said?
Yes.
That's so corny.
I'm a gigolo with R. Kelly, right? Gigolo.
Him.
Yep. Yes. Oh, that's a whole nother topic. Is he still locked up?
He should be, but yes, I believe he is. The only one that's gotten out is Bill Cosby.
That's what I was about to say. I feel like they're opening the gates.
Bill
Cosby's out. Was it Jeffrey Epstein? He's dead now. Didn't he die in prison? In jail? Mm-hmm. Okay. I still think that was a hit.
Probably.
I think that was a hit for sure. I really think that he had somebody on his list that was Donald Trump. I think that hit. I think Donald Trump was on that list.
We can't have that.
Yep. It was right in past. Yep. I think that was a hit. Politics is so.
We going into some more juicy topics.
So let's find out some more about what the what your show is going to be about in the future. So what people can actually look forward to.
Yeah. So, I have a little agenda of things, but basically what I want to do is break down true crime stories and bring on people kind of like how Krista was. So every true crime story we have or a news story from the headline is always going to have somebody who can give some key insight into it. I know I want to talk about sibling rivalries because I have a sibling. So I want to talk about some sibling murders. Because I know being a sibling, sometimes you do want to go ahead and off them, but you can't legally. I want to do a ladies' night where we're talking about groups of ladies that have committed murders, kind of like Set It Off. But Set It Off didn't commit murders. They just robbed banks and stuff. But I want to do some ladies like that. It's just going to be where we're breaking down stories and just chilling and talking. So that's what you can expect. But if you have any questions or anything you want me to specifically address, you guys can always, ask. Do whatever you need to do to get my attention, and I'll talk about
What's
them.
your social media?
So on Facebook, it is Kyla A. Coleman, and on IG, it is KaiLife. So CAI_LYFE.
I don't even think I had your Instagram. Let me follow that. Every time I try to tag you in something.
I'm not following you either, which is crazy because we're friends.
I know. We're like real life friends.
Right. Which is probably why we're not doing much on social media with that. So
probably
Krista, where can everybody find you?
Wow, all you have to do honestly is just Google my first and last name. Ooh. No, I'm just kidding. But no, for real, I am Googleable.
You
No,
should
you can
be.
find me on Instagram. Instagram is like my jam. It's at Krista, Krysta, dot, like, period, Monet, Monet. And yeah, just follow me and, hit me up, slide in my DMs.
So you're accepting?
Unless you from POF.
No
Look,
plenty
I
of
was gonna
fish
say, unless you from
applications
POF,
at all.
then I don't want those. But everything else is a go.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you so much, Krista, for joining the
Thank
shenanigans
you for
today. And
having me
you're
on
welcome,
the
boo.
shenanigans.
Yes, and breaking down the case and even sharing your story. I'm sorry that happened to you, but I'm glad that you put it out here.
Hey, that's
And
life.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, all right, y'all. So until next time, hang tough, be good, practice that self-care tip I gave you. We'll holler at y'all later.
Bye.
Mhm.